Here we
In 2022, the world is being introduced to a new
Oh
movie by
shit.
Jordan Peele. Alien abductions and miracles are said to
I
happen often.
I mean he isn't I've never seen his face before, but I've noticed that with probably about 10 or 11 YouTubers that I watch that have never shown their face before are now showing their face this year for some reason. I don't know why. Like they're doing face reveals or they're doing things like this where they have themselves sitting up talking instead of just their voice, just doing a voiceover. And not gonna lie, because sometimes like when I look at these narrations, I try to imagine what the person looks like, and he kind of looks like exactly what I imagined. Because someone told me he's in the army, and based on the military people that I've known in my life, yeah, like I tell from the tone of his voice that he's black, and I imagine the tattoos. Would you see that? You see that in a lot of branches. I've seen that in Marines and Air Force, and Navy. They have like, particularly Army, they have like a whole fucking sleeve and shit. And I mean, he don't have exactly a whole sleeve. He has a lot of tattoos on his arms, but yeah, he kind of looks like exactly what I pictured he was look like.
But are they true? These are the possible stories behind Jordan Peele's movie, Nope.
I heard about this movie. I think I saw the first trailer. Isn't it like alien abductions or something? I'm trying these headphones because it is hot in here, and I'm a little
When numerous
drunk,
residents of Berkshire County,
and
Massachusetts individually
I know my
reported
ears
having
are
seen
hot.
a UFO on September 1st, 1969, authorities were at a loss for an explanation. This wasn't a lone sighting induced by sleep deprivation that could be easily dismissed. It truly appeared as though something crazy had happened. On the evening in question, residents spotted lights above Sheffield in the southern Berkshires. Many of the witnesses said that the lights were fitted to an unidentified disc-shaped craft that was maneuvering in weird ways. Some witnesses claimed that they lost track of time as they gazed with stunned fascination at the object.
Why is that always a thing?
Thomas Reed was not.
Like I've heard that I've actually started watching X Files again over from season one. I thought about doing a reaction to it. I don't think I'm going to, but it's like, and I've read that about other people who cited alien spacecraft or something. It's like, oh, I lost time, or time seemed to I seemed to just blank out, and then I lost like 9 minutes, or I lost an hour or something like that. It's like I've even seen some like, oh, I lost like 13 hours and shit. I'm like, what is it a time dilation thing? Like, how are you just looking at something in the sky? I don't know what that is. Is it sending out like like some type of wave that makes you go into like a trance and you lose time, like being hypnotized or something? Like, because I've seen that multiple people have said that, like, oh, I lost time, and I lost like I said, I lost 13 hours. Or I lost. I've even seen something like this was a while back. Like, I lost like 4 days and shit. Like, but that was actually talking about abduction, and then they had just random thoughts in their head, and they said, "Oh, I think that's what was actually happening," but their mind, the trauma, made them forget, and they think it's like a dream or something like that.
9 years old at the time. In a car with his mother, brother, and grandmother that night, the family noticed a group of glowing orbs dash out of the roadside trees. Reed claims that something astounding happened when heading home. His family approached Sheffield Bridge. He came to a stop on
Look
the
like the
side of the
bridge
bridge.
Ichabod Crane
Orbs.
was on.
Everything got really
Got hit
quiet.
by a pumpkin.
It was like being in the middle of a hurricane. There was like a barometric change in pressure. It was just like a dead silence. Then there was an eruption of crickets and frogs, and it got really loud all at once, and that was it. Then the family suddenly found itself back in the car, but they had lost 2 hours of memory. But even stranger,
Yeah,
Reed's
see.
mother and grandmother had somehow switched their seats, despite any tangible evidence of the Berkshire's UFO incident. Reed has remained steadfast in his account. He said over time, the family regained some memory of the incident, including having been in a hangar-like facility with other people. We
Hmm.
encountered something, Reed said. It was definitely not of this world. This hangar thing was huge. It was like two football fields. This hallway that we had seen,
I got
it
a
was such a
huge
wide
probe
configuration, almost as a sort of
shoved up
warp
my
track.
ass,
It's important to
and
remember
another
that
one
Reed was one
shoved
of
in my
dozens of
urethra.
people who reported witnessing a UFO in the Sheffield area that night. Some were adults who called into the local radio station to report the sighting. Others were children who began drawing the UFOs in class. There must have been 20 or 30 sketches that were drawn by children in our fourth grade class from what they saw, said Reed. They hung underneath in the class door board in Sheffield Center School. A lot of those drawings hang in Roswell Museum today. People don't realize the significance of this. And so, it wasn't just us.
Hmm.
On our
It's I always find that interesting because I do believe that there are other beings in the universe. I don't know if they have the capability to travel from planet to planet like that, but possibly depending on how far ahead they are in their development than we are. Well, I mean, hell, we gone into space, gone to the moon, sending things out past Mars and shit. I mean, not humans, but like space probes. Yeah, we hope to get on Mars in the next what? I mean, I know Elon Musk is hoping to do it in the next like 10 years or some shit, but I'm going to like maybe 100 years or something like down the line. But I always find it interesting where these sightings people have, like, these aliens, they just pick people up. You would think, and maybe I'm looking at this from the point of view of just a human trying to observe another intelligent life form without them knowing. You would think they wouldn't just be picking people up. Like, cause you're like, huh, we've looked at them, researched them, and we haven't actually taken any of them to research their anatomy or anything like that, but their biology. But we've researched them and their development enough to know that these are intelligent beings. We can't just take them, you know, just take them away. I mean, even if you're doing things like, oh, we could inject them with anesthesia or something, they don't really remember besides like just maybe vivid memories they think are just, they assume they're just dreams or something like that. But you would think they would just not do that of humans because you can see that they're intelligent. You don't want to start an hostile interaction with another species like that is intelligent. Now, I mean, maybe they are so far advanced that like we ain't worried about it. We don't care about you like that. Like we treat you the same as the way humans treat mice or some shit. Like you're type of lab experiment almost like you're that low to us. Like even if you did get upset and try to like attack us, we would wipe you out in a day. If and that's being generous. But still, you think if it's intelligent life, we're trying to. This is a research type exploration, not like the trying. I mean, it's still research, but not like, well, we researching them to see if they're hostile. So they might have military or their version of like military on their crowd and researchers. But yeah, you would think they just wouldn't do that. They wouldn't just pick people up like that and just do all type of shit. And I also think that's a human thing. Because humans would do some shit like that. Because we've done that to plenty of animals on
October
Earth.
21st, 1978, Australian pilot Frederick Valentique disappeared into thin air. It was during a
I
125
wonder is he
nautical
in
mile training
Afghanistan
flight
now? Because
aboard his
someone said he
Cessna
was deployed
over the
like
Bass
a
Strait
while
between
back.
Tasmania and the Australian mainland that the incident occurred. It is important to note that the 20-year-old, who was an enthusiast of alien stories and UFOlogy, was a fairly inexperienced pilot. At 7:06 p.m., at 4,500 feet after departing to reach King Island, Valentique reported that an unidentified craft was following him. Melbourne Flight Service insisted that there was no traffic near him, but the pilot was adamant
Oh,
it
this
involved the
actually
vessel
makes
was
my
on his
ear
tail.
itch.
He
More, it
explained that
doesn't
it had four
sweat,
bright
but
lights
now
and
it
suddenly
itch.
passed 1,000 feet above him in a remarkable speed. For 5 straight minutes, Valentique described its movement and
And the
shiny
cord
metallic
is
exterior.
long.
Suddenly, Valentique
Need to buy
experienced
some more
engine trouble.
earphones. Or
Melbourne Flight Service
earbuds.
asked him once again what the circle looked like. "It is hovering and is not an aircraft," were his final words. The last sound radio officials heard was a metallic scraping sound. Authorities presumed that he crashed, but a later search of the area yielded nothing. Not even the Australian Department
Took
of
his ass.
Transportation could find answers.
See, that's what I mean. They
2014,
just
however,
take it.
new
People
claims came to light. A UFO action group in Victoria alleged that an unidentified farmer observed a UFO nearly 90 feet in length, hovering above his farm on the morning following Valentik's disappearance. More importantly, the farmer claimed that the pilot's plane was stuck to the UFO, leaking oil, while the farmer said that he scratched the airplane's registration number on his tractor. He never came forward, claiming that the ridicule he'd received from his peers after telling them discouraged him. Unfortunately, the Victorian UFO group never managed to identify the man. For the UFO Action Group lead investigator George Simpson, he was definitely frustrated. It's easy for some to dismiss, but there's a corroborating story confirming there was a UFO near Adelaide at the time, he said. This was an experienced pilot who
There were like
was
multiple
able to
UFOs.
identify another aircraft.
Or that's a lot of
but was
lights on the
clearly
bottom.
unable to. Ultimately, only a few possibilities regarding the disappearance of Frederick exist. That he crashed and his remains were never recovered. That he purposefully disappeared. Or, of course, that he was abducted by entities we don't yet understand.
It's funny when I always see these lights. It's like when I see lights of airplanes in the sky, they're flashing. At night, I can't see them, obviously. But even when they show these things in the daytime or like at close to dusk, it looks like just light. Like just orbs. It's not like you can and when you can see a plane, even though the light is flashing, you can still see the outline of the plane against the blue sky. But when there's like UFOs, you can't never tell what the fuck it is. It look like the craft is invisible and all you see is light. So I don't know if each one of those lights is supposed to be a flying craft or if the craft is like invisible. Like got some type of cloaking thing, except the lights are visible. Would you think that would negate the whole purpose of the cloaking mechanism? If that was the case. But yeah. Two fishermen experimented.
It was October 11th, 1973, when Calvin Parker and Charles Hickson
That's one thing I
they went
can't
fishing
control
in
the
Mississippi.
volume.
At first, when Parker
These
saw the blue
headphones.
lights reflected in the water, he thought the police came to tell them to leave. "A big light came out of the clouds," Parker recalled. "It was a blinding light. It was hard to tell with the light so bright, but it looked like it was shaped like a football. I would say, just estimating, it was about 80 feet. It made very little sound. It was just a hissing noise." Parker then claimed that 3 legless creatures floated out of the vessel toward him. He described all 3 as having mitten-shaped claws, while one was necklace and gray. The other appeared to be more feminine. When one of them tried to wrap its hands around Parker's neck, his natural response of fear oddly subsided. "I think they injected us with something to calm us. I was kinda numb and I went along with the program." Parker alleged that he and Hickson were taken aboard an alien vessel and experimented on. Afterward, the 2 terrified fishermen found themselves back on the riverbank as though nothing had happened. They drove to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
No,
and
that
told
was
Captain
quick.
Glenn Ryder
Or they
and
have
Sheriff
like
Fred Diamond the entire story.
time lapse.
"When I got in there, they had me. It was kind of weird," Hickson told the police. "There were no seats.
It was kind of weird.
They just moved me around. I couldn't resist them. I just floated and felt no sensation, no pain. They kept me in that position a little while. Then they raised me back up. Hickson claimed that a machine resembling a giant eye looked over his entire body. He said he was surrounded by inhumane, 5 foot tall looking people. Captain Ryder didn't
They're
believe the
short.
CNN. He stepped out of the
Oh, you just said
interrogation
they
room,
didn't have
but left
legs.
a secret recording device running in hopes of obtaining the proof that their alien stories were fabricated. But what he later heard on his recording made him think twice. Jesus Christ, God have mercy. I thought I'd been through enough of hell on this earth, and now I've got to go through something like
Jesus
this,
Christ, God have
said
mercy.
Hickson to Parker. But they could have, I guess they could have harmed us. They could have done anything to us. I just want to cry right now,
Could have
added
raped
Parker.
us.
What's so damn bad about it is nobody's going to believe us. With no physical evidence of their abduction, the alien story remains a mystery. Parker stayed quiet about the event for decades, but after Hickson's death in 2011, he wrote a 2018 book on the matter. Its publication prompted others to come forward, claiming that they too had seen a UFO that night. It makes me feel pretty good I'm not the only one who saw something, he said. Most of the people are credible people. These were the true stories possibly behind Jordan Peele's movie, Nope.
Interesting. In that movie, it looked like them aliens are way more aggressive. They just flying up and just snatching people. They don't give a fuck. And the trailers I saw. Like, now that's a species. That's some shit I feel like humans would do. If we had I thought something stopped. If we had the ability to fly like that, to go planet to planet, I feel like humans would just take people from a species from another planet. I don't care, especially if they seem less intelligent than we are. Then they gotta be that much less intelligent. They could be like, let's just say, they're around the Stone Age version, their version of the Stone Age on their planet. If they're like around there, humans won't care. Like, if we invent time travel and we go back to like the Stone Age period, humans now would have no problem like just taking people, experimenting on them, injecting them with anesthesia or whatever to make them like forget, fall asleep, whatever, and they wouldn't care. You know, we show more compassion the way the people like now that show more compassion to animals than we do to humans. So like it's we I don't think humans would care. I'm like I said, I'm thinking from the point of view of someone looking at another intelligent life form and like, okay, we can't approach them. Like they looking at another like alien life form coming here, looking at humans now and just like, oh, we just pluck them up like they ain't nothing, like they cattle and just do whatever we want to them because they can't do nothing to us. They like we're so much vastly more superior in technology and weaponry than they are. Like we're not worried about them. But even still, you would think they would look at humans. Okay, they're intelligent enough to where maybe maybe we should just approach them than just picking them off and doing like experiments on them and observing them like in that way. And especially the way humans they probing us and shoving shit up in us. I think we get that from. I don't know if people actually picked up by aliens. I'm not gonna automatically say that that's bullshit, but I don't think that's really the case. I think we're more so projecting on other life forms in the universe based on what we would do. Because if you look at any nature documentary and you see the way people, you know, collect data from animals and stuff like they shoot them with tranquilizer darts, and then they measure their teeth and take a blood sample, and if like if they like I was looking at something I don't know like a while back where you know um, hyenas like secrete some type of like pheromone out of their anus and shit that they smell and shit, and they can I don't know, identify each other. And you see like hyenas be like, trying to smell each other's ass. I mean, dogs do that too, but in between their legs, so they secrete some type of fluid out of their anus. And they took like a sample that they scooped in there and took that out. And I was like, they were just doing all type of shit, weighing them. And I said, I would feel like that's the exact same thing that people describe what aliens do to humans. Like they do all these experiments, measure stuff, take blood, shove. It's always shoving somebody in the anus or some shit. But like they do all these experiments without killing the thing. Like they're not that far where like humans are, oh, we'll cut open a frog or something like that. Now, maybe if the human dies with them, they're like, oh well, shit. Well, the human's dead. We might as well cut them open and see now, how their insides work. But humans, like we look at frogs and other things we dissect as lesser than. So it's and we people eat frogs, like frog legs and shit like that. So we're like, oh well, we eat those anyway. So yeah, that's fine. They cut those, take them, kill them, cut them open. Just to teach our young about anatomy by showing them the anatomy of another species. You know what I mean? Not gonna cut open humans, obviously, but yeah, it just like I always like how would like I always think like not how would, but I would think like an intelligent life form coming to a planet would not do things like that. I feel like humans who say they've been picked up by aliens or whatever, uh, abducted by aliens, are kind of projecting on what they think humans would do, or maybe even what they would do onto the aliens. I don't know, like yeah, I feel like if it's an intelligent life form, especially close to your level, the humans we haven't quite got intergalactic, well not intergalactic, like what is it? I guess it's intergalactic, like space travel. Like we've been in space, but we haven't been able to travel at any real speed to any other planet. We've gone to the moon and that's it. Um, and if aliens are observing us, you would think they would know that, or hell, even be able to like I don't know, like look at maybe get a hold of our internet and translate it or something like that. You would think they would be able to see that and say, okay, well, these aren't. We're not looking at these humans like they're dogs or some shit. Like they're far less intelligent than we are. Like they're not coming and looking at humans from 3000 BC or some shit like that. like even then, humans were fairly intelligent. Like people built pyramids and shit back then. It's like people had culture and society in that time period. Still, I mean, like I said, we're not anywhere near. They weren't anywhere near where we are now, but they still were intelligent. You know, but like that's what I'm doing now. Like I said, oh well, I can see them treating those people like that, but not people now. Even though those people back then still had technological advances, even in that time period, and was building things. Hell, they even had stuff built where, like the way the pyramids were built in certain countries, we still trying to figure out like how the fuck did they do that without having the technological advances that we have now. Like how did they make the stones when you can't even put a sheet of paper between it? Like, how do they cut the stones and like how did the Romans make this super concrete? That seems to last longer than the concrete that we have now, and we don't know how to make it. And that concrete has lasted that in places like that ruins and stuff that are thousands of years old, and some people still use those roads, and like, but our roads last for like a year and they're fucked up. Yeah, like I wonder if they had let tractor trailers drive on those roads. 'Cause like I feel like if you have let tractor trailers drive on those roads, they will fuck those roads. There's just like any road around where I live, any road that tractor trailers are allowed to go on, those roads are always fucked up. Once they redo them, they always get fucked up in like a couple years or so. But yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. And if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe when you're here. Hit that bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.